Hey, welcome back, everybody. We got some exciting news. Kamalalala Harris, cackling Kamala, has picked her VP. Um, Tim Walz, governor out of Minnesota. Does anybody know who he was? Un- Before today, did anybody know who this guy was? I've heard his name. Not really a lot of his policies or anything like that, but I think I might have heard it before when they said that he was one of the on the short list, as it were. But I didn't expect this. I honestly thought that she was going to go with Josh Shapiro. They need Pennsylvania. They need Pennsylvania to get the election, and I really thought that she was going to go with Shapiro. I really thought she would, but she didn't. And I think after doing a lot of research on him and looking into some of the stuff that he's done, he's a lot like her. Now he came out and when he took the governorship of Minnesota, he was a moderate, or so he claimed to be. But he's pushed a lot of stuff that a moderate wouldn't have. Honestly, it's still surprising to me that she didn't go with Shapiro. But I was watching Ben Shapiro earlier, and the point that he made is because a lot it would upset their base, which is a lot of pro Hamas people, which I think is stupid. That's a different story, but it would upset that base, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to alienate those people in picking a Jew, and that. There's no other way to say it. Josh Shapiro is a Jew, and he's kind of flip flopped on a couple of things here and there. But he's a Jew, and a lot of their base being pro Hamas right now with everything that's going on, they didn't want to alienate those people and not get their votes, so she didn't go with him. I think she was going to. I really think that she was going to go with Josh Shapiro, but I mean, obviously, because the rally that she held today was in Pennsylvania, so I think she wanted to go with Shapiro, but I think people around her told her that it was going to upset her base, and so she had to change it. That's what I think. I could be wrong. But that's what I think. Um, why else would you have the announcement rally of your VP pick in Pennsylvania if you weren't going to pick Shapiro? I don't know. Weird. Anyway, there's a few things that I want to go over a few things with this Tim Walz guy. I keep wanting to say waltz. It's walls, like four walls, not waltz, not a dance. Four walls. Anyway, um, take a couple things here that I wanted to take a look at, show y'all. Some of this stuff. I watched a lot of stuff today. I read a lot of stuff today. Um, it's crazy to me. But hey, this guy's crazy. I mean, the stuff that he wants to do and the stuff that he has done. Look, this guy he signed an executive order for um, trans people transitioning. There's a whole hoopla that he did over this. Signed an executive order for transgender transitioning crap that there's a lot that goes into it, but we'll take a look at it. I've got it here, but this first one here I want to take a look at. This is from him. He was on that Zoom call for the white dudes for Harris. I thought it was silly. I didn't cover anything of it because I thought it was stupid. But hey, he was on it and said some crazy stuff. But this is just a quick clip of him talking about this stuff. I wanted to take a look at this and show y'all because this is nuts to me. But hey, let's take a look at this and see what he says. Check this out.
Don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Just do the damn work. So I got to tell you, when I see this, it lifts me up. I'm inspired. I see it. Again, anti-Tommy Tuberville. This is the
Wait,
first
look,
day of football work, so
look,
I got to tell socialism is another thing.
right here.
Don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
One man's socialism is another man's neighborliness. Okay. What? Socialism. Hey, he said it. I don't want to be a socialist country. Mm-mm. No, thank you. I like my guns. I like my freedoms. And I don't want to get rid of that kind of stuff. So I like the Constitution. Socialism does away with all that. I don't want to lose all that. Don't like what. Mm-mm. No thanks. I'm good. On to the next. Let's get rid of this guy. All right, let's see. Take a look at this one here. This is from the Megyn Kelly show that I seen a little earlier, and I wanted to share with y'all. This was because keep in mind this guy, he's the governor of Minnesota. You remember the Summer of Love, summer 2020, the BML riots, the George Floyd riots. You can call it a peaceful protest all you want. We all know it was riots. This guy, the mayor of Minneapolis, was asking him for National Guard help because they had completely lost one of their police stations in the 3rd district, I think it was. It says in the video, but completely lost the police station. And this guy said, "No, you can't have the National Guard. Yeah, I'm not going to do it." Just outright told him no. What? What? Wow. This is who Kamala picked for her VP. I guess it goes hand in hand with her because she was the one that was fundraising money to bail out rioters during the Summer of Love in 2020. She was the one that said they will not stop and they should not stop. She said that, telling people to riot and everything else. And this is the person you want to have for president, not me. No thanks. Check this out. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
9901, 9901 emergency. We got individuals breaching the gate at the 3rd precinct. We also got people trying to breach the front doors.
Well, to breach the back gate. You're taking heavy rock.
Heavy rock. Airing information citywide. The 3rd precinct has been compromised.
3rd precinct is up in flames.
We're gonna move back. They're starting to throw Molotov cocktails. We're going. The protesters are the ones that feel like these streets are their streets, which you will hear people chant.
Listen, notice the reporters. Everybody says the protesters. As there's burning buildings and people being, stores being looted and fires and Molotov cocktails being thrown because the reporter had to get out of the way. That's not a protest. That's a riot. And they got away with this all summer long that year, saying that they're just mostly peaceful protests. My patootie.
Protesters here. And of course, there's an explosion because there is gas and there are all kinds of things inside of these cars.
Look. Oh my goodness. You cannot sit there and tell me that it's a protest when there's explosions and fires happening right behind you. Oh, of course there's explosions because there's gasoline in the vehicles. Yeah, because people are throwing Molotov cocktails and setting crap on fire. But it's just a protest. Peaceful, mostly peaceful protest. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that fire behind me. It's mostly peaceful. Yep. Like I said, these are the two people that are running. They're going to try and be the president and the vice president of the nation that let that kind of stuff go on. Now, some people are going to come on. They're going to say, "Oh, but he did bring in the National Guard." No, that was after. That was after the fact. It was days later, after the city had already burned to the ground, pretty much. I want to say, you can't quote me on this. I don't know the exact number. I want to say that it was close to about $500 million in property damages. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a peaceful protest. Just saying. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Check this one out. This is another one that I come across that I wanted to share, and yeah, we'll check it out. This is let me think here. Guess it's got me flustered now. Now this is okay. Yeah, this is from the Daily Wire, which I do follow, and this is on his trans stuff that he signed an executive order protecting trans kids, and it's pretty disgusting if you ask me, but I'm telling you what. Hold on, check this out. Okay, this is not a video. This is just some stuff that I'm gonna take here and have you take a look at here. Now this is there was custody battles. Now this guy Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, who is now the VP on the ticket to be the vice president of the United States. Okay, so he signed a cluster of legislation in April of last year that established Minnesota as a haven for children who want puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, or transgender surgeries. Like, wow. And I say wow because of some of the stuff that I read in this thing. It's for the gender affirming care. Now this bill that he signed in, it pretty much, for one, if you don't affirm your child's transition into the other sex that they want to be, he gave the state the right to take your kids away. That's evil. I'm telling you right now, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, they do not know what they want, okay? They don't know what they're going to be when they grow up. They don't know what they're going to do the next day at school. They don't know. They flip-flop on what they want for dinner. And then you want to make sure that they have the right to choose what sex they want to be. Yeah. Anyways. Let's see. There's a 12-year-old wearing a dress who identified as a girl. A 6-year-old boy, also in a dress, was attendance with his parents, who are raising him as a girl. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old. Like I said, they don't know what they want for dinner that night. Oh my gosh. All right, I guess we can take sorry about that. Let's take a look at this this video here. I guess this was on X.
Also standing in that sea of people, a parent, transparent about his family.
My partner Gretchen and I are here today because we are parents of a trans child.
Their child is 6 years old, and she was as excited to be at a boring capital on spring break as any 6-year-old kid could be. Squirm.
Look at that child and tell me that they know what they want. They don't know what they want. It's your job as the parent to raise them, not fill their head with all this crap about. Oh my gosh.
And fidgeting her way through speeches, hardly aware her existence, as why her parents drove 5 hours today to speak publicly.
They drove 5 hours?
Personal. I mean, the safety, the happiness of our child is it couldn't be more personal.
Asher, why are we here today?
For trans rights.
for her rights to be
She don't care.
her.
She don't care. Look, she is bored out of her mind. She don't care. That's on those parents.
Trusted us enough.
That child
She
does
believes in our
not
love
care.
enough that she has invited us in to see her whole self. And if we don't love her that much, the opposite would happen, where we wouldn't get to know everything about her.
No, that's not true either. Love your child and raise them the sex that they are. She's 6. She doesn't know what she wants. Shame on you. Shame on you. That's all I'm going to say about that. These people are... isn't there some kind of mental capacity test that you're supposed to take before you become a parent? That is infuriating. 6 years old, and they're just like, yeah, it's fine. We love our daughter, and we want her to be another sex. But that's who's gonna be on the ticket for the vice presidency with old Kamalalala. My goodness gracious, gravy. All right, one more. Check. This is there's some other stuff that I ran into looking into some of the stuff in his past. Now, I found it kind of funny. Megyn Kelly on her show, she pointed out the fact that now Donald Trump's not the only one on the presidential ticket with a mugshot, because apparently this guy was arrested back in '95 for DUI. He was going 95 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. He was drunk off his butt, apparently. Hey, and he's got a mugshot. I saw it. I don't have it for y'all. I wish I would have put it in here, but I didn't. I want to look at a couple of these things too, and y'all can let me know what you think about it. Let's see here. Take a look at this. So, we've got September 23rd, 95. Well, this is when he was a teacher in his home state of Nebraska. He was pulled over for going 96 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. That's pretty quick. Strong odor of alcohol beverage was detected emitting from Mr. Waltz's breath and person, the report said. Trooper indicated that Waltz submitted to and failed both the sobriety test and the preliminary breath test. He was also eventually taken to the Chadron Hospital for a blood test before being booked in the Dawes County Jail. That's interesting, right? I mean, let's see, Waltz was initially charged with driving under the influence and speeding, but he pled guilty to a single count of reckless driving, according to the Alpha News. Now, I mean, I've known a lot of people who've gotten DUIs. Is it a good thing? No. It's not the worst thing, I guess, for your political career. It's not good, though. I mean, I don't think anybody should be drinking and driving, especially going 95, Anyway, I had the Black Lives Matter riots, and you can say it was a protest all you want. We all know it was a riot. Let's see. Waltz critics say his handling on the Minneapolis riots after the 2020 killing of George Floyd was a failure and low points of his first term as governor. I would have to concur. He's been a disaster for Minnesota and is by far the most partisan governor that I can remember having, Minnesota GOP Chairman David Hann. Going back to 2020, certainly he did not try to stop the riots going in Minneapolis. I think he was fearful of alienating his progressive base. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah, who were supporting the riots? Yeah, Kamala Harris was raising money for the rioters. Yes, like I said before, she said that they will not stop and they should not stop. And then she had a fundraiser so that she could bail out the rioters. And that I don't know the exact number. I know she raised a lot of money for those people that got arrested. Wow. Waltz deployed the National Guard to stop the violence, which included the torching of the police station, but GOP lawmakers have both said the governor of Minneapolis, Mayor Jacob Frey, were too slow to act. Now, I read a thing that Jacob Frey actually put in for the National Guard before that 3rd Precinct police station got burned down, and he told him no. I read that earlier. Maybe it could have been a false article, but I remember reading it because I thought to myself, wow, that's crazy. Um, hmm. Anyways. Oh, yeah, the COVID-19 lockdowns. Yeah, it's a good thing I scrolled down a little bit more because I was going to glaze over that, I guess. This guy, he locked everybody down, which a lot of people did. I mean, I get that, especially during early days of COVID. Nobody was sure what exactly what it was and everything else. But you know what? This guy, he was one of the guys that brought up the narc on your neighbor thing. Now he was telling people to go ahead and if you see somebody outside of quarantine, call the police and narc on them. Yeah, yep, real inclusive. Anyway, excuse me. Oh gosh, that's who's on the VP ticket now. So now I personally, like I said, I thought it would have been Shapiro. I think Shapiro would have been a more difficult opponent on a VP, for the VP on the ticket. But this guy, honestly, given his record and everything that I've seen about him, now they're gonna tout him out as a hero, and they're gonna put a bunch of stuff up praising him, just like they're doing with Kamalalala right now, and that's just what the news is gonna do, because they just tell you a bunch of lies and gaslight you and tell you everything's hunky dory. So I think Shapiro would have been a more difficult opponent as far as a VP candidate against President Trump and now the vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance. I think this guy makes it easy. I think I seen a True Social post from Donald Trump, and all he said was thank you. I guess that's all he's got to say about it. Because, like I said, Shapiro would have been much more difficult to tackle, but this guy, Tim Walz, man, I think they just handed the Republicans I think they just handed it over. Maybe not. I mean, like I said, they're gonna tout him out as a hero and everything else, just like they are with Kamala. So, I guess we'll find out. Y'all can let me know. Thanks for hanging out. Hope y'all have a good night.